A group of researchers is digging in tombs that were dug up for the first time more than a century ago. This time, they find something really amazing. A rare look into the strange process of mummification. This discovery shows how this strange and long-forgotten process works in a new way. Hello everyone. In this video, we will talk about a startling discovery made by archaeologists in Egypt. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates. Let's get started. Ancient Egypt's impact can still be seen in places like the Great Pyramid of Giza and in the many artifacts that can be found in museums all over the world. But there is always more to learn about this great North African culture, no matter how much we know. After all, we still don't know a lot about the society and traditions of ancient Egypt. One of the oldest and most powerful cultures in the world started in the 31st century BC, when the two states of Upper and Lower Egypt joined together. Narmer, who was also called Menes, was the king who did this. In July 2018, a group of officials and reporters met at Saqqara to hear the results of the new probe. Dr. Ramadan Badri Hussein, who is in charge of the Saqqara Say Tombs project, said that there had been some interesting finds. The old workshop is the only place like it that has been found. It may be from the time of the Cent Persians, which was from 664 to 404 BC. At this time, the area was ruled by the Egyptian Saint dynasty and the Persian Achaemenid Empire. What else do we know about the funeral parlor back in the day? It looks like it was made of limestone and mud bricks, and it had pots where the bodies were cleaned. Hussein said that we have labeled oils and measured cups. From this, we can learn what the oils are and how they are made chemically. We also found an underground passage that went from the courtyard of the embalming workshop to the burial chambers. It was about 100 feet long. Archaeologists found dozens of mummified bodies and several sarcophagi inside the rooms. One of the coffins seemed to be where a woman named Tadahiro was laid to rest. The team also found some figurines that had to do with the future, which was interesting. Stelae was the name for these statues. Archaeologists found a wooden box that was beautifully decorated with plaster and paint. Inside, they found a person's preserved body. Experts thought that the marks on the coffin belonged to a priest who once worshipped the Egyptian mother goddess Mut and feared her serpentine form. But the thing that covered the mummy's face was the most interesting thing about it. Amazingly, the mummified body of a priest was found to be wearing a silver mask with obsidian, calcite, and expensive onyx accents. This is a rare find, and experts think that the mask was an important part of the journey of the dead. Gilded metal masks had a lot to do with religion. Hussein told Archaeology magazine that Egyptian religious texts say that gods have silver bones and gold skin. A silver and gold mummy mask is a step toward making the dead person a god, but it doesn't look like only priests and wealthy people were buried at this spot. The mummies and the holes have very different ways of life. The success of the researcher has also helped get people interested in their work, show how it can be helpful to go back to old sites with new technology. Hussein said that Egypt needs a second round of digging that focuses on old places that were looked at in the 1800s. We can use new ways to examine and record what we find, and it will be helpful every time we find something new, he said. Experts will keep looking at Saqqara in the meantime. Dr. Mustafa Wasri, who is in charge of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, says that the spot could still lead to many more interesting finds. In 2011, Egypt's protests against police violence grew into a full-fledged revolution. When thieves hit the streets, several of Saqqara's storerooms were broken into. Other Egyptian historical sites, like the cemetery at Dahshur and the burial mounds at Lisht, were also badly damaged. Most of Saqqara's structures stayed in good shape during the revolution, but there was still political turmoil in the area, so people stopped coming to see the old ruins before the French Revolution. Egypt used to get almost 15 million tourists every year. But in 2011, only 9 million people went there. Then, in 2013, President Mohamed Morsi was overthrown by the military. This gave the rest of the world even more reason to stay away from the country, even though it has many important historical sites. But as time went on and the area became safer, Egyptian officials started to think of ways to get tourists to come back. One of the first ideas they had was to build a new pyramid. Dr. Tarek Tofik, who is in charge of the Grand Egyptian Museum, sees this as a chance to show off the country's riches once more. Egypt is always able to show the world something new. He told the people in Saqqara that when new pieces of its past history are found, we will show them in a way that will surprise the rest of the world. It hasn't been easy to open the most ambitious archaeological museum in the world, but when the first part of the museum opened in 2018, some artifacts from the Saqqara dig were meant to be on display. But because of delays, the place has been closed for a long time. The big Egyptian museum is likely to stay closed until at least 2020. People also think that the new building will be fully open to the public in 2022. Mark the 100th year since the tomb of Tutankhamun was found. At the same time, researchers have kept digging at the site of the mummification workshop, where they plan to open and look inside more burial chambers. On the other hand, Egypt's travel business seems to be slowly getting better. In 2017, 8.3 million people visited the country. The year before, only 5.5 million people went. It is hoped that these numbers will keep going up thanks to new ideas like the Grand Egyptian Museum. Having more people interested in the archaeology of Old Egypt can only help places like Saqqara because it brings more money into the country. That's it for today. What do you think about this incredible discovery? Let us know in the comments section. Please like and share our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates.